So hello and welcome to another episode of Scenes 4 Wheels. As you can see, I'm out in the B class today. It's Boxing Day, I got some time on my hands. I thought, right, let's actually use today constructively and actually get some filming done. So this is a quick little video really, just to give you an update what's happened. If you follow my channel on a regular basis, you'll probably know that I haven't updated anything for a few weeks. That's not like me. I'm trying to keep up to at least weekly or fortnightly content. However, that hasn't really been working out. December has just been one big blur. It's just gone so quickly. I don't know where it's just gone, and Christmas was here before I knew it really. There's been lots of stuff going on in December, and I will talk about a few of them going on in this, what's been going on this month. But really, I'm going to try and upload in the new year. Hopefully that'll be, I'll get more regular content coming back on, and hopefully posting up, say, weekly or bi-weekly. Now, the first thing I wanted to talk about, and another reason I haven't put a video up, is because I've recently got a new job. Now, my last job, I was doing sort of 20 to 30 hours part-time basis. This one now is 40 hours, Monday to Friday. That does have advantages because obviously these are weekends free, so I'm going to have to do more car shows and only have to work occasionally, might have to do it a weekend, which is fine by me. However, this does mean that I'm working 40 hours. It's a full-time job. As with most other people on YouTube that do their own channels, it does leave me incredibly tight for time, really, because I only then really have evenings. By the time I finish at 6 o'clock, gone home, had something to eat, it's 7, half 7, and do I really feel like doing a YouTube video? Probably not. I probably could do one, but it might not be the best one. As I said before, I don't just want to upload any old rubbish onto the channel. I actually want to keep a decent quality to the video and actually keep it to a set level and something that I'm actually happy with. So I probably should mention where this job actually is. It is actually at a Mercedes dealership, and it's basically in a sales support role. So it's basically make sure the pitch looks smart, keeping all the cars nice in line, make sure we get all the photos onto the website and whatnot. And I'm really enjoying it. I've only been there a couple of weeks. But everyone seems happy with it, or manager seems happy with me. He said to me on Friday, pulled one side and said what a good job I was doing now when I've settled in. So I'm like, okay, if my boss is happy, then I guess I'm happy. But yeah, I'm really enjoying it. So I've only been there a couple of weeks. I still got a bit to learn, obviously. I never worked at a car dealership before, so it's certainly a big challenge really for me. But I'm enjoying it. It's an enjoyable challenge. So as you well know, if you follow the channel, I have mentioned several times before that I do have quite big involvement with the Mercedes-Benz Club UK. Obviously at the moment I have two roles. First role I took on was the region officer for Midlands North region, which is basically helping to organise events for the Midlands North region, contributing to the newsletter and various little bits and pieces as well. Now I've enjoyed this role, and I did additionally take on as well the management of the Facebook page for the club. Now that's been really successful. I've done that for about 18 months now, so I really enjoy being a social media coordinator as well. However, recently the club have these things called model register captains, and they basically sort of are responsible for the model that they represent. So people can come to you with technical questions, people can come to you if they have an issue with the car, or whatever it might be anyway. And the other part of that job, which is quite a big part of the job, is helping to organise events. Now, one of the last events I went to before we had the very first lockdown, I think it's about the weekend or so, just before we had lockdown in the UK, was a SLK meet over at Gaydon. Now, I haven't got many pictures of that. I didn't know before I really started to do the YouTube channel, so I haven't really got much about that, unfortunately. But I really did enjoy it. We had a nice tour of the museum, which is organised, and it was just for our club as well. Fantastic tour. Learnt quite a bit about the cars that were there. Anyway, after that lockdown happened, and the gentleman that was the SLK model register captain, he did have his fortunately come with some back problems. Now obviously SLKs are quite low down to the ground, and so he's decided to sell his SLK, and he no longer wanted to be the SLK model captain if he didn't have the car, which is very understandable and a very unfortunate reason to have to sell your SLK. And one of the things that, having been to a couple of SLK particular meets, was that actually there's this fantastic community starting to build up, a little community in the club, and SLKs are quite popular. They are quite popular with club members as well. And what I really didn't want to do was to have this little community lost. I felt obviously we've had a bit of a gap during lockdown, which is of nobody's fault really. But it would be nice for next year to start building up and that little SRK community. So you probably can see where this one's going, and obviously I put my hand up, I volunteered for this role as well. So far I haven't really done much towards it, which is why I haven't really spoken about it. However, I've started planning. There are going to be hopefully a few events. I'm going to try and do probably about at least 3 or 4 SLK particular events next year. Obviously at the moment I've taken on the worst time, which is winter, and my SLK is currently tucked away for winter, waiting for spring to come. However, in saying that, it's a bit of a double-edged sword, because although I can't really do that much with my car, it does mean I can start planning stuff and organise stuff, which is what I'm just doing. I'm currently in the process of getting a few dates organised and generally getting things organised, which is giving me quite a good bit of time to get settled into the role. So that will be fun. Hopefully that will generate some content on the SLK. If you follow this channel because of my SLK, obviously you'll get some more content coming up hopefully in the spring. So that's the second thing that's happened. Obviously I did a video about the B class last time and how things are going. That's still going fantastic. I do still like the B class. It's obviously I'm using it quite a lot more now since I've started this new job, and it just does everything that I want it to do, which is fantastic. So the SLK currently is still tucked up in my parents' garage. I haven't been up there that much to actually drive the SLK. I visit my parents on a regular basis, but I don't really go there to drive the SLK. I do give it a little drive. I was up there over Christmas and I didn't give it a drive because the weather was just absolutely awful. Today is just a prime example. You can probably see out the window, it's just grey, it's misty, it's murky, there's like a very fine drizzly mist in the air. Not really the best weather to take the SLK out in, unfortunately. I think they are predicting next week it's going to warm up a little bit and dry up a little bit, so hopefully I'll be able to get the SLK out and do a little bit of filming with that as well. So this year with the SLK, as you guys will know, I came very close to seriously selling the SLK. This year I've done less than 1,000 miles since the last MOT, the sort of mid to end January I believe that was. And the year before I did about 1,500 miles in it, so this year somehow I've managed to do less miles in it, but I've had various things going on all this year with lockdowns. I'll go into that in a little bit. And yeah, I just haven't used this, and I was so close, sort of September, October time, to selling the SLK. I was actually had a quote that I was happy with. I was almost at the point where, oh yes, I'm going to contact these people and actually, get them to look at the car and potentially sell the car. So I started out with one Mercedes this year, which I almost sold, and now at the end of the year I've actually ended up with 2, which I didn't plan for, to be honest, but that's the way these things happen sometimes. So the SLK isn't going to get sold. I know I did that video, which is a very good clickbait, which a few people commented on, and I said the SLK was gone. Actually, it had gone from our garage, my girlfriend's house. It had gone from there. I'd taken it up for storage of my parents' house over the winter. So that was a bit clickbaity, and I apologise. I still apologise for that now to people that say about it, but it did get a bit of a reaction from people, which is what we really should do with these videos. So the SLK isn't going to get sold, neither is the B-Class. I'm happy with both of these cars. They're very different cars, but I love them for both what they do. Now the SLK, as I mentioned, was going to get sold, but I find that I don't get emotionally attached to objects. I'm not a sentimental person. I'm not at all. If I lost everything, I really wouldn't be that bothered. However, the SLK is one of them things that I just couldn't quite bring myself, and I think what I've sort of taken away from this year is that although I haven't been using the SLK, I've sort of been thinking about it all wrong. I think, well, I don't use the SLK much. I haven't used it all this year. However, I've had various things going on this year in my personal life. Obviously, we had lockdown, first of all, and all the car shows were cancelled. We didn't really start car shows in the club until about July, when the figures were again getting ready to organise stuff, and the figures were nice and low as well. And then also, unfortunately, my girlfriend had an accident in the beginning of April, just starting to come out of that really strict lockdown. The restrictions were starting to ease off a little bit, and unfortunately fell over and she broke her leg in 3 places. Now obviously this meant I had to sort of really step up and become more like a carer for her, and she obviously needed a lot of help and support doing that. And again, that really wasn't until sort of September, until she was really getting back up on her feet and able to actually walk a decent amount. You know, she's still struggling a little bit. She still struggles walking long distances. Walking long distances. But say it's going to take a few years to recover. So this year it's just been sort of stacks against for one reason or another, and it's not really anybody's fault. I don't blame things for happening for lockdown. It is what it is. It's happened. You know, we need to obviously be all in this together, as the government keeps saying. And obviously, with my girl falling over, nobody could see that one coming. It just happened, unfortunately. And you know, these things happen in life. You just have to accept them and try and get on with it and deal with them. So from thinking about selling my SLK, I thought, well, this year and last year, in fact, both were not very good years. They have really just been. I came into this year thinking it'd be better. Somehow it's not been better. It's actually been worse. And I just haven't been out and about that much. But next year, I've got a list of things that I'm going to do, a list of car shows that I want to go to, and I think next year I've set my mindset to not being quite so negative, thinking, oh, I don't use this guy, so I better sell it. My mindset now is actually, well, let's get out there, let's use it. I've got this fantastic car that I absolutely love. Let's get out there and use it. So I think if I'm still in the same situation, this year I haven't used the car, I'm starting to think, well, maybe at the end of next year, I've got this car, still haven't used it. Then I'm going to have to obviously look at it then and take a long hard look at the SLK. The SLK is going to get a service, and quite a big service of that actually. It's having new air filter spark plugs and standard oil and oil filter change as well. That's happening in mid-January. It's also having a gearbox oil change as well, which I don't believe the car's ever had. I haven't got any paperwork to back that up anyway. It might well have had it done, but I haven't got the paperwork. So I was going to do it this year, but because the car did so few miles last year, it's done such few miles this year as well, I didn't bother doing it this year. I just literally got an MOT, which obviously is legal requirements for cars in the UK. So I'm going to go and get that done in January. We'll have an MOT while it's there as well. So let's get the car all ready for the year. I might also do a few little cosmetic things, the SLK, just sort of touching it up really, and just actually getting it back up to sort of a really good standards. A few little marks, a little dent on the bodywork, little stone chips which are a bit annoying, so I might possibly get some of them touched up as well. And then get it ready for the shows next year. So that will probably take me a few years. It does need a big detail and a good clean again. I haven't given it a clean. I hate to say this, I will admit this to you, but I hate to say it, and it's one of them things. I haven't actually given the SLK a clean since about September was the last time. I remember I gave it a clean before Cars in the Park in Lichfield, and since then it's just I've been trying to take it out when it's been dry mainly. So actually it looks a bit dusty. It needs a bit of a clean. I'm going to have to do something in the new year with it, but haven't yet got around to doing it. However, I don't want to be all doom and gloom about this year, because I have had a few really good memories. Obviously, I've been down to Devon a bit. I've also done a little bit of filming down there as well. You would have seen my Devon videos. It's one of my popular videos on here. I'm going to try and do another one of those next year. We started in Dawlish and we went along to Teignmouth and Sheldon. We went to places like Labrador Bay, went to Meafoot, and I think we stopped off we drove through Torquay and stopped in Paynton now. Hopefully I'm going to do another one of those drives, and I'm thinking about going a little bit further along the coast towards Dartmouth area. Maybe start in Totnes, drive down to Dartmouth and then go along the coast along there. I'm starting to get some plans together. That's something else on my list of things to do today while I'm fairly quiet as well. I've also been to a few car shows. I went to one which was quite surprising, at a caravan park down in Devon as well, which was a cider festival as well, so nothing better than a nice drink of cider, and also some nice classic cars as well. I was quite surprised. I didn't think there'd be many cars there. I thought 15, 20 cars, a little sort of local meet almost, but actually I think there was getting close to 100 and 150 cars, actually a really good mix of cars as well. It actually turned out to be a really good show and quite surprising. I've also been to some of the Mercedes Club events. As you know, I organised the one trip to Wales, you've probably may have seen the video on. I've also been to events like Cars in the Park, and it was always a fantastic show as well. So as I've already briefly touched upon, next year is going to be a fantastic year. I've really going to have the mindset, and that positive mindset. Lots gone this year, and it's just, for whatever reason, it's just not quite worked out the way I wanted it to. There's been a few good things I've really enjoyed. I also enjoyed going on holiday with my girlfriend as well. We've been in a couple of different places. We did a trip up to Scotland. We went over to Poland for a weekend, which, if you follow my Instagram, was absolutely packed full of nice, very nice cars actually over in Poland. I was very surprised how many AMGs there were over there actually. And we've also been out to Spain as well. Where else did we go? Yes, with the Wales trip. Yes, so that's been about it. Even though we've been having these lockdowns and obviously stuff happened to my girlfriend's leg, obviously we've been able to do a few things as well. So thank you for watching this video. I know it's been a sort of me just waffling on about what's happened all this year. It's very hard to compact what's happened this year, what's happened this last month into one little video. So hopefully you've enjoyed it. Obviously make sure you put a like on the video. If you have any questions or want to comment on anything that I've said, or if you recommend anything for next year that you want me to do, or you recommend things that you've been to previous that happen next year, please do comment below. And obviously to keep up to date with my latest uploads, please make sure you hit that subscribe button. So it's goodbye from me and goodbye from the B class, and I want to wish you a Merry Christmas and a Happy New Year as well.